Hi, I'm John Decker, author of the book and Bible study, Golf is My Life, Glorifying God Through the Game. This video is about chapter 3, Protecting the Field. And this chapter starts out with scripture from Mark 12:30 through 31. And it's, in summary, the scripture says that we are commanded to love God with all our heart, our mind, and our strength. And the second commandment is that we are to love thy neighbor. And this chapter and the biblical theme of this chapter is to love thy neighbor. Uh, Protecting the Field is a story that happened to me on a school bus when I was a little boy, and I witnessed bullying. I was not actively a part of the bullying, but I witnessed it. I didn't stand up for the person who was being bullied, and I participated by laughing. And one of the things that was very difficult for me, there was two chapters, chapter 3 and 4, that were really the most difficult chapters for me to write. And Protecting the Field is one of these. And the reason that they were difficult is because even as an adult today, I still feel the pain of my actions. And when you write the story and you go, I mean, we all have things from our past that we're not proud of. When you actually put them on paper, even though it might be years and years later, you relive that experience. And what was interesting about this story, and I'm not going to give the whole story away, but what was interesting is when I received the book and it was shipped to me by Christian Faith Publishing, I had it in my hands and I sat down and I started reading. I was feeling so good about it until I got to this chapter. And as I started reading this chapter, I started crying. And it was really an emotional experience for me because to actually see in writing something that you're not proud of, something that happened in your life that you're not proud of, is very, very difficult to do. And I was not expecting that. So this chapter, is something that really touches my heart, and I hope that it will touch yours as well. And it talks about protecting the field, and that's protecting those. That's loving our neighbors. We should love our neighbors, but also protecting those that are not as fortunate as we are. Whether it's protecting them financially, whether it's protecting them physically from harm's way, whether it's protecting them by giving them a phone call and checking in on them, giving them a ride to the store, whatever it is, we are to love thy neighbor as much as we love our family members and ourselves. We are to love our neighbor. And I think the message from this chapter in today's society goes a long way, because we have all witnessed bullying. It happens in every school in America. There's always children that get picked on. There's adults that get picked on. And so whether it's at school or at work, and putting a stop to it, standing up for those people, is what this chapter is about. Now, the term protecting the field is not a term that I went around as a child. It wasn't like my father said, John, I want you to go out there and protect the field. It's actually a term from the game of golf. In the game of golf, you are a rules official, and it's your job when you're going out with your group to protect the field. In other words, if I'm playing with someone else and they are violating the rules, it is up to me to say something. It is up to me to say something, because if I don't say something, that person might win the tournament. And that's not fair to the people outside of that group, because in golf, you're not all playing together. So what's going on in the group ahead of me or the group behind me, I have no idea. So I'm assuming that everyone is playing by the rules. And that's the way things ideally would be in life. But protecting the field is standing up and saying to someone who you're playing with, that's a rules violation, or you need to make sure and witness when they're in trouble, or when they're taking a ruling, is to be there as a witness. You'll see this on the PGA Tour. Now, on the PGA Tour, they're fortunate because they all have rules officials. But you will see, even when the rules official comes over, the playing partner, the competitor should come over and witness what's going on to protect the field. That way, if there's any discussion afterward, everyone knows what's going on. I wanted to take the concept of protecting the field in golf and apply this concept to protecting the field in society, and loving our neighbor, and taking care of those that are not as fortunate. The story itself, there's a great story in the book that it was great to write. It wasn't great to experience, but with my own golf experiences, where I actually was trying to qualify for the U.S. Open, and I got disqualified. Again, I'm not going to give the whole stories, but I disqualified myself because I violated the rules of golf. And again, I protected the field. And it's a great story in the book, and I hope you enjoy it. But chapter 3 is such a great way to express, if you have children, it's a great chapter to sit down with your children and read to your children, even if they're 6 or 7 years of age and maybe they're not even playing golf. The lessons learned from that chapter really translate to all of us. And if we all learn to protect the field, this world will be a better place. Enjoy chapter 3, Protecting the Field.